So today, while I was walking my dog out at the park, we came across this aspen grove. And while we were walking through it, I noticed that there were some pieces of wood they looked actually perfect for a bow drill set. So while we were walking through this grove, I collected a couple of pretty large pieces, including one for a fireboard and the spindle. Brought it back to the house and thought I would see if I could make fire. And so I'll explain real quick kind of what I did and show you what the outcome was. So here's the wood that I actually collected. There's 3 pieces here. And you'll notice the top one has really straight branches, which is perfect for making the drill part of the bow drill. And then that middle piece is actually a great size for the fireboard. So what I did was I processed all of this stuff down. I took all of the bark off and cleaned everything off of each branch and used that for my nest, which you'll see in the next slide. So nothing actually went to waste. I actually used everything from these sticks, with exception to the bow, which I already had made. But as far as the fireboard, the drill itself, and the handhold were all made from these 3 pieces of wood, and the nest as well. Okay, so in this clip you'll see that the tools that I used are there. So I just used a hand saw, which came from my Gerber survival axe, which is part of my kit, and a knife I'm testing out, which is the Schrade 10 survival knife. So those are the only tools that I used to complete this set. So in this picture you'll see the bow that I used. I made 2 fireboards out of 1 piece. Part of that I'm going to cut into the handhold on the top. You'll see the spindle there, and then down below all the bark and all the little shavings that I used are what are going to create the nest for my coal to go in. And there's just some extra shavings and odds and end pieces over there on the left that I'm going to use once the fire gets started. Alright, so here we are. Got all my pieces ready to go. Alright, put the handhold on the drill. And I'm going to start working it. So you might notice a little bit of squeaking on there. I think that's because the drill itself isn't completely round. But the trick is to just keep the friction going. Right about the time when you think you should quit, that's when you got to keep going. And just so you know, the cord that you see on the bow there is from a normal paracord bracelet. Alright, so we're going to let the coal start to develop. You can see a little bit of smoke coming out of there, so I just want to make sure that you kind of let it be for a second, let it get going a little bit. And then what we're going to do is try to just gently knock it out of there onto the piece of bark underneath the fireboard, which will be used to transfer it over to my nest. I had to get a little more aggressive on this than I wanted to get it out of there. But it held together. So I'm just going to gently blow on it, give it a little bit of oxygen, try to keep the coal going. You're going to see it start to develop a little bit more with all that fine dust around it. Alright, and there's the nest. Okay, we'll transfer it into the nest. And again, the nest was built completely from the bark on the sticks that I found. So all this stuff came from those 3 pieces of wood you saw in the beginning. You're just going to keep blowing on it, keep fueling it, becoming more aggressive as it starts to heat up a little bit more. And boom, you got fire. Just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer it over to my fire pit so I don't catch my yard on fire. And you'll see that I have a bunch of the leftover bark there and a couple of slivers of the wood to build the fire. But that's pretty much it. Once the nest is on fire, you should be pretty much good to go.